Friends, you are welcome to join with us at the time of the autumnal equinox for our celebration and magical working of the lunar tides. These tides work in us all. Every month there is a rising of energy as the moon waxes, and we are full of vitality at the full of the moon, and so are plants. And the tides of the sea respond, and we have salt within us. Water and salt. We're mostly made of water, apparently. And as the moon wanes, so our energies turn inwards. And the most mystical time of all is the time of the dark moon, when the influence of the stars are more strongly felt. So I want you to relax completely and anoint your brow with water to awaken your eye of vision. That's it. I want you to rise now from your body, keeping some consciousness, and begin to rise into the air above your home, wherever you are, and come back into the past. Come back into my time and place in the land of Ireland, as summer gives way to winter, and day and night are equally the same time, and it is also the full moon as we move from Virgo to Libra, the scales of perfect balance. Cross water now. Water. Water relates to the moon because the tides come from the moon. Cross salt water. The moon, the psychic moon, not the physical moon, rules our emotions and our instincts. Now are over an island, the land of Ireland, at twilight. You descend to the southeast corner, and between two shining rivers that join and meet the sea are masses of trees, and hidden within them is an ancient grey castle. And its most holy place is a well, the well at the world's end, the well of the triple goddess Brigid, of the moon goddess Oinia. And light comes from the well, and you see it with your psychic vision, irradiating the castle. You descend into the castle, and you see a priesthood, this time wearing the robes of ceremonial magic. So we see the magi, magicians and enchantresses, around the well. They are wearing silver. A silver headdress is worn by the enchantresses. They wear violet and silver robes and deep blue, always silver. The magi wear high silver and dark blue headdresses and violet robes, with all wear pectorals of the moon. That is, a pectoral is a heavy ornamental chain. On this is the moon, sometimes in its three forms. However, we observe that the company, those who are joining the ceremony, wearing white and deep violet and blue, and the magicians are all concentrating on a priestess who anoints each brow with water with these words: "May psychic vision awaken in you. May psychic vision awaken in you. May psychic vision awaken in you. May psychic vision awaken in you. Then we realize that this is preparation for a procession moving out of the temple, headed by the Magi. They are beginning to leave the well. We observe that they first pay their respects to an inner chapel, Holy of the Holies, chapel of the moon and the stars, the inner mysteries. Holy of Holies never have any outside wall. This has none. Windows looking into the temple. As each come in, they pick up a crystal. The chief enchantress picks up a great crystal ball, and the Magi picks up a silver staff, and there's another crystal ball, and various crystals, and all of the company pick up a crystal, either large or small. Now there is a movement away from the Holy of Holies and down a passage of 9 columns, and as they move we hear the steady beat of a processional drum. Come with us. Come. This is the Egyptian beat. They are moving out of a portico into twilight. This is a magical time. Always the psychic faculties awaken at dawn and dusk, between the deep sleep when the soul leaves the body and the activities of the day. The procession makes its way across a serene garden with yew trees, and the sky is still light in the west with the rich hues of a most lovely sunset of primrose and rose colour. All feel serene and happy as they gaze at the sky and walk round. They are moving first to the west, and we realize that they are approaching a long, ancient avenue of yew trees, over 600 years old, and ghostly monks are said to walk down in this direction. However, they walk along the yews towards a great deodar tree right up against the sky, and in the place of the east we see darkness and the glimmer of the first stars. But soon we know they will be eclipsed by the full moon in the south. So the procession continues. It moves down a slope and down a great avenue of trees. Follow this procession. They are moving towards the west. Now they pause halfway and take a sharp turn to the left, Widdershins, place of the moon. You notice all the time this movement is Widdershins, from right to left, the path of the moon. So they go down into a wilderness. They take another sharp left turn, and now we see 2 great cypress trees, and we are approaching the hidden grove of Diana. We pass through these yews and we enter a grove of trees, and in the centre is a fire. We observe that there is a black and blue velvet covered altar, which is a tree stump placed in the centre with 3 lamps upon it, 1 silver, 1 brass, and 1 copper. There's burning incense to be sprinkled on the fire, and here all the company place their crystals in a circle around this fire. However, the company now are not looking at the altar, they are looking at a great tree which presides over this circle, and at its foot, seated upon a tree stump, is what first appears to be a statue. What is this? We realize it is a priestess in trance. Beneath the white veil we see the glimmer of a silver headdress. We realize that the oracle of the goddess Artemis is to be invoked. The principal magician approaches and holds up both his arms, one in which is held his magical staff, black and white. And as we look, we begin to feel a power already. The priest invokes Artemis.
Divine Artemis of the golden bow, whose silver arrows shoot into the brow of artist, poet, and lover, under whose powerful protection live stags and hinds, bears and wolves. Bestow on us thy inspiration. Give us understanding of all living creatures. Bring us in harmony with thy glorious nature. Remember us, till we have forgotten thee.
Now we realize we are to be vouchsafed the oracle, which does not always happen. We see an extraordinary phenomenon, some of us with psychic vision. It's like a cone of white light descending behind and above the priestess, and it looks for all the world like 2 mighty silver stag's horns that touch the tip of her head. Some can even see the form of the goddess herself, made of crystallized white light. We hear the words of the priestess giving forth the oracle of Artemis.
You have done well. You have heard my demands. At the 11th hour you turn to my ways. Be confident and walk forth in hope. For thousands of long earth years, which to the deities is but the passing of a moment, you have turned away from me in the pursuit of your own artifacts. And this was intended, that you should learn the skills of Hephaestus the smith, and the high thoughts of my twin brother Phoebus Apollo. But now, sated with your own mechanical toys, frightened by the nemesis of your own acts, you turn to me. In your wanton destruction of your fields and woods, you destroy yourselves. In the death of wild creatures, you injure your own existences. In your proud separation from nature, you alienate your souls. But you have turned to me. Know that nature also has a soul, that the earth is a living being too mighty for you to understand, that every creature, every stick, each atom has its true being in the psychic realm over which I preside. All the nature that you perceive is a mirage of my true nature. You gaze at that which is before your eyes, yet this is a phantasm of that which truly lies behind you. You would follow my ways? Shut your eyes that you may see. The future you will know when you gaze upon the past, and so walk backwards to the future. Use your right hand for the day, and the left hand for the night. Turn to the right for the gifts of my brother Phoebus of the sun. Turn to the left 3 times with your eyes closed, if you would travel to my moon. For my moon is not the moon you see, and my arrows are not only moonbeams, but rather are the shining radiations of the spirit. Treat my children of the wild with care and respect, not as pets, but as your equals. So you will be the friends of bats and toads, of deer and wolves, of foxes and badgers, of owls and snakes, and of my ethereal creatures that exist in the sphere of my moon, and are seen by your young children, who are not yet blinded and deafened by your ephemeral world. The key to my sphere is through reflection.
There is silence, and all fold their hands in gratitude for the oracle. They turn away from the priestess to let her recover from trance, while a companion gives her a glass of water to drink. They turn instead to the altar, and now the Magus invokes the goddess of the moon in her triple form.
I invoke the triple goddess of the moon, she who was and is to be.
He now lights the left lamp. Now he invokes again the goddess, this time of the waning and the dark moon.
I invoke the goddess of the waning and dark moon, she who was Beltis.
Know that the Magnificat of the Blessed Virgin Mary, used by her, was first granted to the world through the sister of the god Baal in his good form, she, goddess of compassion, Beltis, the goddess.
She is mighty, she is divine, Beltis the goddess, clothed in light, who doth pass through the heavens, doth keep up the earth. She accuses and she intercedes. She humbles the rich and vindicates the cause of the lowly. She overthrows the enemy, he who does not revere her godhead. She delivers the captive and takes the hand of the fallen. Bless thy children who honour thy name. Give life to thy children, thy offspring. Let them speak of thy grace. Let them glorify thy name. Take their hands in need and suffering. In disease and distress give them life. May they go ever in joy and delight. May they tell of thy goodness to the people of the whole world.
Now the priest blesses and calls upon the goddess of the dark moon, which so foolishly many fear.
Holy goddess of the dark moon, give us thy gift of compassion. May we have courage to face the deeds of our past lives, that we may forgive and be forgiven.
Now the Magus blesses a cup of water brought from the holy well by a priestess, and he and she both hold their hands over it. And as she blesses it, white or blue power may be seen coming from it. And the enchantress says, "May this water bring true vision and healing." And the Magus now lights the right lamp, and he invokes the goddess of the new moon, which we all like because it's young.
I invoke the goddess of the new moon, she who is to be, Cynthia, sweet virgin daughter, hope of the ages, be our guiding light.
And now we hear the lovely Gaelic prayer to the moon.
Greeting to thee, new moon, kindly jewel of guidance. I bend my knees to thee, I offer thee my love. I bend my knees to thee, I raise my hands to thee, I lift mine eyes up to thee, new moon of the seasons. Greeting to thee, new moon, darling of my love. Greeting to thee, new moon, darling of graces. Thou dost journey on thy course, thou steerest the flood tides, thou lightest up thy face for us, new moon of the seasons. Queen of guidance, queen of good fortune, queen of our love, new moon of the seasons.
Now the enchanter holds the crystal to the enchantress, and he asks her to bless it.
May this crystal be hallowed by true prophecy.
So we gradually, if we're psychic, we see the power of the moon building up, because here we don't just, at this ceremony, bless the new moon and the full, and are fearful of the waning moon in the dark, thereby denying our own subconscious the darkness of the womb. All is hallowed, and so people feel happy. We watch the enchanter light the center candle, and now he is invoking the goddess of the full moon herself.
Greeting to thee. For I invoke the goddess of the full moon, she who is Astarte, goddess of faithful lovers, bringer of all progeny and crops and fruit, bestow on us thy lovely gift.
Greetings to thee, gem of the night, beauty of the skies, gem of the night, mother of the stars, gem of the night, sister of the sun, gem of the night, majesty of the stars, gem of the night.
The enchanter now calls upon the present time. If we're not happy in the present, the past is only for regret and the future for surmise. Mystical experience comes between seconds in the eternal now.
So we may weave our many-coloured memories of the past into a noble design for our future web of destiny.
Here the enchanter holds his hand over the wand, and some see a flame of green rays circling around the tip. He now invokes the power of magic.
May this wand be hallowed for the art of true magic.
He picks up the wand and faces the west.
I evoke the mystical circle of the moon's year, as she journeys through her 28 mansions and 13 cycles, backward through the sky.
He makes the sign of the new moon in the west. An enchantress calls upon the power in the west.
In the west, place of the new moon, I invoke the city of water. May serene emotion prevail.
Here she makes a circle towards the south, and we can see a silvery light following the wand's tip. Here the enchantress in the south makes the sign of the full moon. I invoke the she of fire. Let vitality be given. Now, the circle is continued by this enchantress till we see a silver-lighted circle round us. And now in the place of the east, an enchantress invokes the moon.
In the east, place of the waning moon, I invoke the she of air. May we dispense our jewels to those who seek.
Now the enchanter makes the sign of the dark moon in the north, continuing the circle.
In the north place of the dark moon, I invoke the she of earth. May wisdom of the depths be found.
As each invocation to the moon in its phases is made, a silvery circle is made around the grove of Diana, easily done, because this ritual is frequently prevails, thus bringing power in. Now is the time where the goddess is called upon through chanting. All call upon the name of Artemis. The company now, having created the circle, begin a graceful dance, moving widdershins from right to left to ever-quickening drum beats. Now imagine yourself joining in this circle, quicker and quicker. Dance, dance, dance to create the circle. Left, right to left, round and round. On earth, you do the path of the sun, left to right. In the astral plane, you move the other way. Each plane goes in a different phase to the other. Dance, dance. Quicker and quicker. Now an inner circle is made going the other way round. Now 3 circles are made. The outer circle, right to left, an inner circle, left to right, and the innermost of all, made by 3 dancing women, from right to left, widdershins, 3 phases of the moon. Silver, white, and black. White and orange in the middle, round and round the fire. Imagine yourself dancing round the fire. And as the dance is created, the full moon shines down upon the grove from the south. The white rays pierce through the grove, and the long dark shadows are thrown to the north of the cypress trees. Fortunately, a golden cloud moves away. The September pale orange silver moon shines upon us and upon you, bringing happiness and psychic vision. Slowly the company sink one by one to the ground and enter into a state of vision, where they attempt to see the tree spirits, the people of the she of earth, the she of air, the she of fire, the she of water, all now beginning to surround the circle. Imagine them. They don't look human, they look elemental. The she of water, the Andeans, most lovely, coming from the river and from the well. The she of earth, Nami, leprechauns, who are friendly to the people of Ireland, who have never persecuted those who love them. There's no hostility. Friends, you are seated in meditation in a magical grove, the Grove of Diana, in the grounds of Clonegall Castle, in Ireland of the She. Your psychic vision is being awakened by the lunar time. This is the time of the full moon of the autumn equinox, as the sun is entering Libra, leaving Virgo, so perfect harmony is needed. And all are meditating, or rather attempting to be aware, not thinking, being aware of nature spirits. And you can see them, sometimes they're like steam against the darkness and flicker and show, you see little sparks of light. You look at them sideways, don't stare. They are quicker than ours, their vibration is much faster, so it's like looking at a sunbeam. So just for a few minutes, we'll be aware of the she. Now the company rise, and the enchanter lays his wand on the altar. He is now going to invoke the most holy triple Hecate. Hecate is most beautiful and robed in white in Greek mythology, but most fear her in her dark form. But her dark form is the depths of night, of motherhood, of deep meditation. The enchanter is going to invoke her in her three phases.
Holy goddess of the moon, triple Hecate of the crossways, where all paths meet, come to us. In thee all things are reconciled, gold and silver, black and white, high and low, left and right, are held in harmony in thy mysterious sphere. Love and truth are united in thy beauty. Let them be reconciled in us. Give us the gift of intuition. Bestow on us thy vision of thy truth.
Now the enchantress steps forward, and from a silver pitcher full of well water she fills a bowl of water, and all the participants drink from this. Now the enchanter addresses them again.
To adore the goddess is good as we gaze upon her beauty. It is also necessary to allow her to inspire us as she comes behind us, that we may act as her daughters and her sons. So we look into her reflecting mirror of vision.
Ah, so we are to develop our clairvoyance. The enchanter and enchantress place the crystal balls upon the altar, and they all sit now and gaze upon the crystal. The crystal acts as a focal point, and if you gaze upon it, concentrating, you begin to see mists and clouds surrounding it, right round all these crystals, like a fog. At first you can't see anything, and then you begin to see pictures. Sometimes a rainbow can be seen around it. We still need to invoke the goddess that she may help us, and an enchantress calls upon the muses.
Sweet-voiced muses, well-skilled in song, tell us of the long-winged moon, that we may see her with the inner eye. From her immortal head a radiance is shown from heaven, and embraces earth. And great is the beauty that ariseth from her shining light. The air, unlit before, glows with the light of her golden crown, and her rays beam clear. Whensoever bright Selene, having bathed her lovely body in the water of ocean, and donned her far-gleaming raiment, drives on her long-maned horses at full speed, at eventide in the mid-month. Then her great orbit is full, and then her beams shine brightest as she increases. So she is a sure token and a sign to mortal men. Hail, white-armed goddess, bright Selene, mild, bright-tressed queen, show us thy beauty.
And as the companions sit, they intone upon the goddess Selene. Selene, Selene, all sit with their eyes shut, visualizing the crystal, and seeing it become larger and larger, great shining sphere, until it reaches the tops of the pine trees and becomes a mighty luminous sphere around the whole company. And it almost seems as if it's going to levitate. We visualize ourselves rising from the ground within this silver sphere, and within it, as luminous as a rainbow, we see many colours, and we see the sylphs of the air bearing us upward. Feel this. There is in pure beauty perfect happiness and perfect harmony. The harmony of the unions, the opposite of light and shade, of dawn and twilight, day and night. Accept yourself. Feel that you are surrounded by your own aura, crystal rainbow of light. The enchanter speaks.
Let us prepare our souls for astral journeying to the moon sphere. Hear and understand the tale of ascension of Princess Kaguya of Japan to her home in the moon. May eyes be closed and vision paint a picture as we join those who watch the sky.
Not a sound came from above. As midnight drew near, an unearthly brilliance, 10 times brighter than 10,000 moons, filled the sky, and the watchers cowered back in terror, almost blinded. From the highest point in the heavens, a wreath of white clouds slowly massed together and gently and silently began to drift downwards. As the white cloud ship approached the watchers, they could see that many beautiful creatures were grouped upon it, some standing, some sitting, and all dressed in shining kimonos of rainbow colours. The white ship drifted to a point just above the rooftop, and there rested quietly.
Then the watchers saw a graceful palanquin gliding down the broad path of light. It was guided by beautiful beings, led by a young moon god, more gracious and lovely than the rest. He descended to earth and placed ceremoniously before Princess Kaguya an ornamented box. He opened it and presented her with a shining pitcher and a flowing robe of the most delicate gossamer silk, in colours that irradiated all about her, like thousands of beads of rain. The Princess Kaguya draped the robe about her shoulders, and a look of majesty fell upon her. Divine joy flowed into her cheeks, and ethereal air surrounded her whole being. So was she revealed as the moon goddess. Before she ascended into the sky with the moon god, she presented the pitcher to her earthly friends and spoke these words: "This pitcher holds a potion that when any taste of it, they will obtain everlasting life."
Here an enchantress moves to each of the participants with a silver bowl and gives them to drink, and says these words: "Drink of the water of everlasting life." And the enchanter addresses them:
The time has come for us to journey in our souls to the sphere of the moon, called by the goddess and guided by our guardian angel.
And as we sink into contemplation, we feel our beautiful silver sphere begins to rise, as did the palanquin of Princess Kagoo, up, and we see the ground with the pine needles dropping below us like soft red-coloured mist, and the scent of the pine draws us upwards into the trees and above, and we ascend towards the shining white light of the moon. But this is no ordinary moon. This is not the moon we know, for wing-like beams come before it. They close around it and then open, and we know that we are gazing upon an astral planet, a most wondrous sphere of loveliness that brings inspiration to poets and artists. And our silver sphere mounts high to the sky, and we approach the radiance of this astral planet that has no physical counterpart, but is like unto the moon, and behind it, and the moon like obscures it, the physical moon. And we enter into this sphere, and it is of inexpressible beauty, all that you have longed for, of love and harmony and joy and peace, surrounds you like a white mantle. Feel this. How lovely are these soft colours, like mother of pearl. Everything here is radiant with an inner light. And yet we think we recognize she who presides over this sphere. It is the same being made of crystallized white light that some of us glimpse far below in earth at the close of day. We see a mighty silver figure, and from her head pours forth radiations of white light, and these reach through to the stars. Constellations are about her. We face the Queen. This light, my friend, is within yourself. Feel it. It comes upon you like a shower of silvery rain, falling through, for all are in harmony with the Queen who gives us birth. We feel the spiritual inspiration. And as we do so, we know some project that we had in mind we would bring through to earth, some beautiful idea, a tree to plant, a garden, a work of art, help for others, a book, and receive inspiration. However, we cannot be here forever. We must return. And we observe that the companions have all been in different journeys. A beautiful girl with long red hair has a blissful smile, and she has a rosy aura. We know she dreams of love, and by the rose in her hand we know she has found it. And a young man with a golden beard has the air of an artist who sees some mighty work of sculpture, for he is a sculptor. And an old man with grey hair has his head bowed in some deep contemplation, finding a secret here he has never found in his many hundreds of books. And a musician looks joyful, trying to remember some sounds that he wishes to keep forever when he returns to earth. and slowly the silvery disk begins to descend, and as it does so, we fear the earthly brain may not keep memory, so we ask that we may remember what we have gained. We slowly come back. Slowly the silvery sphere descends upon earth, leaving the full moon, coming through the full moon as a mist, and coming down onto an island in twilight, and descending upon a grove of trees, and it drops as gently as a feather upon the ground surrounding the trees. And we realize we have returned to the grove of the mother. The enchanter is speaking.
Let us slowly and tranquilly return from the realm of the moon, bringing with us memory of all that we wish to treasure.
And the enchantress speaks.
Let us send all serenity, vitality, and healing to all beings. She, human, animal, and plant. May the names of any we wish to aid be spoken, and any colour seen be sent forth for their welfare.
I think I'd like to send forth healing to those tribes who have been destroyed in rainforests, along with the rainforests. May they be saved.
May the dolphins and all the creatures of the sea be saved from the terrible pollution that we're having at the moment, so I'd like to send healing to them.
May all creatures on earth which are neglected now be saved.
May all plants that are struggling be saved, and the trees that are around these shores be protected, and all forests nearby and in Europe and the whole world be protected.
And as each of the companions sent forth their thoughts, we see rays of light coming from the crystal and the smaller crystal and pouring forth into the world. And we notice now the helpfulness of the sheep. They can guide these radiations, otherwise they'd just be lost in the atmosphere. They can guide it to the very areas needed, even to alter the mind of a president thinking of cutting down a wood. They can really direct our thoughts to where they are useful. Hence, we do indeed owe so much to the she. And now we see that the companions wish to use the virtue of sound, so they call upon the name of Diana to speed their thoughts forth. Now the company join in a joyful dance on again the path of the moon, widowshins in the three circles, widowshins in the middle, the three enchantresses representing the triple aspect, the middle again the path of the sun, and the outer widowshins dancing, sending out these rays of good to all nature, for Diana is guardian of all wild creatures. Dance, dance. Dance. dance quickens. Join in the wonderful patterns. People are now breaking circle and dancing in and out the dusty windows like the children's ancient game from Misfit. They go in and out, arms held up as arches. They're forming the spiral dance now. Round the trees, they're going in and out of the trees. In and out. Imagine yourself dancing in and out these wonderful cypresses, round and round and round. Sending out rays wherever you want to. 4 quarters everywhere. Now the whole company call out to the reborn Pan. They call out Evoe Diana, Evoe Pan. Evoe Diana, Evoe Pan, Evoe Diana, Evoe Pan, Evoe Diana, Evoe Pan. Pan is reborn. Pan is reborn. Pan is reborn from Diana. Pan is reborn from Diana. And all nature rejoices, for Pan brings all the gods and goddesses joy in Olympus. Evoe Pan, Evoe Pan. And now the company give thanks to the deities. The enchanter thanks the she.
And thanks be given to the she of water in the west for serene emotion. Thanks are given to the she of the earth in the north for the wisdom of the depth. Thanks are given to the she of air in the east for generous giving. Thanks are given to the she of fire in the south for vitality.
And now the enchanter gives thanks to the goddess herself.
Thanks are given to Artemis.
All give thanks to Artemis. We give thanks to Artemis. And now, but what is rather odd is that we begin to think that these people look rather ghostly. We watch the enchanter making the yin-yang sign of the triple moon, a circle with an S in it, which is of the triple goddess, which in China is called yin-yang, positive and receptive forces in perfect balance. And feel this within yourself. Perfect balance. You have this feeling. Now, the procession is leaving the grove, bringing with them all their crystals. Come with them back. But now they look rather like a procession of the she themselves. They are leaving the grove, bearing with them the pitcher of water, the incense, the sacred vessels. They have put out the fire with earth. The young people have done that. There are about 44 people present. They slowly unwind. They are coming through the wilderness. And they are moving the other way now. On the right, they move down the yew walk. But now the whole world is radiant with white light. beautiful. We moved down the yew walk, facing white light. We cut out of the yew walk, and now it's a fairyland, the grounds, utterly beautiful in the full moon, for separate Florence Court yews have long black shadows, and there's a belvedere with its columns outlined upon the lawn, and the procession moves its way to the dark bulk of the castle against the sky now of early night, and winds its way there, and we know that they will give thanks at the well and then have their equinoctial feast. But we can't have this feast. There's something odd here. I don't believe you're in the right place. I think you belong somewhere else. The drum beats seem softer as we rise into the air above the coast. We rise into the sky of night, into the brightness of the moon, and you return to your time and place. Yes, I make a sign. So make a sign. Come back to your body. Come right back. I'll come with you. And those helping me reenact our ceremony are our good friend Dr. Patricia Gillan, Goody Who, right under that name, of the chapter of Merklin of the Noble Order of Tara in Wales, who's working to save her valley from pollution. So this rite is very relevant to Diana and Pan. And our friend the Reverend Sandra Ramdani, also of the Noble Order of Tara. And my brother, Lawrence Durden Robertson. Write to us at any time. Olivia Robertson, Fellowship of Isis, Tonigall Castle, Enniscorthy, South Island. Address